Discussion. So last time we finished bar graph. So I want to show you what a pie chart is today. And most of you must have seen pie charts before. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you understand what a pie chart tells you, even if you have never formally studied it. So let me go back to the ADA employment status problem. Again, this is a problem that I cooked up, so this is not the numbers that you see here are not real. So again, remember that in this example we are looking at a survey, and we are surveying the employment status of the adults in ADA. And so we are basically, just to make things simpler, we had one question in the survey, and that is, are you employed? And the answer would be yes or no. And so the survey result of that OneNote is stuck. Let me open that up again. Okay, so survey result will look like, if you are picking a sample of 500 adults, then you're going to say number the adults, and then for each adult you're going to write down his or her answer. So you basically, your data is basically a bunch of Y's and N's, right? And then in order to organize this data in a table, you create two categories, right? One would be the category employed, the other one would be unemployed. For the category employed, you're going to count how many Y's you got, right? That's the count for that category, or the frequency of that category. And then for the unemployed, you're going to count how many N's you have, and that's the count or frequency of the category unemployed. And you're also going to look at the relative frequency of a category. So that is the count of each category divided by the total frequency or total count. So that's in my third column here. Now, last time I made a bar graph for this table, right? I presented this table in a bar graph. Today I want to show you how to present that in a pie chart. So if you want to, so remember the numbers here. The category employed, that relative frequency for that is 80%, and for the other one is 20%. And the pie chart for that will be this. So basically, because I have two categories only, you are going to divide the disk into two slices, right? And one slice will represent the category employed, the other will represent the category unemployed, right? Now the question is, how big of a slice do you want to pick to represent a category, right? How big of a slice do I need to represent the category employed? How big of a slice I need to represent the other category? So how do I do that? Well, remember the entire disk, you can the total angle, the total central angle for a circle is 360 degrees, right? So basically a slice will be determined by the central angle made by that slice, right? So the gray region here represents the category unemployed. Remember the relative frequency for that was 20%. So you want to take 20%, the size of the slice to represent the unemployed category would be 20% of the entire slice, right? In other words, if the total angle is 360 degrees, you want to multiply that by the relative frequency 20%. So what is 20% times 360? 72. And So you pick a slice with central angle 72 degrees to represent that category. And if you multiply 80% with 360 degrees, then you get 288. So the slice with central angle 288 degrees will represent the unemployed category. Is that making sense, how these angles are picked? So it's clear that to represent a category with relative frequency 20%, well, you need a slice, you need 20% of the whole slice, right? And so on. Any questions on how these angles are picked? Okay. Now, you wouldn't have to do it by hand. You just use your calculator, or you can also easily use Excel to do that. You know, for this class, you should try to see how you can create them by using the calculator. But you know, obviously, when you go to a job, and you know, when you go to a job, most probably from every now and then you have to present data, right? So, for example, if you are, you know, even if you are an engineer, maybe at some point in your life, when you work for GE or something, you might be you might want to make more money, and then you want to go into sales or something else, okay? And, well, sometimes they actually make more money than engineers. So when you go into sales, you might want to look at, you know, sales data, right? And then in order to present your numbers, sales data, you might use graphs like this, okay? Is that making sense? Okay, so pie chart. So let me give you another example. So this is something that I copied from the internet. This was from PBS NewsHour, and so this is on how does the U.S. slice the pie. So basically, this is the income. So I have two countries here, United States and Sweden, and there is another country called Fredonia. Okay. And if you can tell me which continent it belongs to, I'll give you $20. Okay, so United States, we're looking at the income distribution. Okay, so you look at the total wealth, you know, income plus, you know, let's say your house, and wealth like house. So what I have here is 4 slices here. So we are dividing the households into 4 slices. The uppermost 20%, then the second 20%, the third 20%, and the bottom 20%. Okay. So So what we have here is that the bottom 20% own only 4% of the wealth. Bottom 20%. The top 20%. They own 84% of the wealth, okay, and so on. Is that making sense? If you look at Sweden, basically you have that the top 20% is the top 20% owns 36%. Second 20% owns 21%. Third, what should I say? Third 20%, for lack of choosing the right words, but the third, I think I can call them what? Quintals, or quintals, right? 1/5, right? 1/5 of, so quintals. So the third quintal basically owns 18%. The fourth quintal owns 15%. The bottom quintal owns 11%. And in Fredonia, they all share the same amount. Does that make sense? So what's going on in Fredonia? Well, it's made up. I wasn't gonna challenge you with $20. I don't want to lose $20, right? No, Fredonia is a made-up country, basically, right? You guys get it? It should be obvious, right? There is no country where income is shared equally, right? Do you think any country come close to this one?
China.
Was that? Who said? Someone said China?
China.
Yeah, probably. One of the things that you need to realize is that just because you hear soundbites like they are socialist or they are communist and so on, you'll be amazed at how much some people have, how much money some people have. Way more than the rest of the country. So what I want to say is that in some of those countries, ideology is being used. So they are using the ideology, but the smart people are making more money. People who know how to use the ideology better, they will make more money. So Sweden is actually probably closest to it. So not even Russia, which we sometimes think that they are socialists and so on. So, but they have so much corruption too. Okay. So again, so when you look at data, one thing I do want to emphasize is that you always want to, whenever you see data, you always want to look into the references, right? You want to verify the references. You don't want to take any facts without references, right? And always learn to doubt. Okay, try to justify everything by yourself. You shouldn't probably even trust me or anybody else. Always look for references, look for the facts on your own, and try to justify on your own. Okay, so the main point here is that we understand how to read a pie chart. Okay, so in your homework problems, you will be given a pie chart, and then you'll be given a bunch of questions based on that. So do you understand how to read that pie chart? And I think you probably already know how to do it. I think we all, if any of us were given a pie chart like this, we can right away see what's going on. Okay, so that's why it's nice. Examples. Okay.